The Greeks.
This is in the camp?
In the camp. The Greek Jew was the worst of the lot. They used to take everything away from the Jew, from their own people, and used to give them away to the Germans. For one instance, I've seen a young chap, must have been 21 years old, that put him over a chair. And he wasn't all there, he wasn't... and they hit his back open till he died. That was the Greek Jews were the worst Jews what I have come across.
One day, my daughter came home and she said, "Mother," she made so, don't say nothing, come inside. So I go in, what is? So she was a very young girl, and she took out where her bosom should be. She had no bosom. She had a little onion, so little onion on each one. I said, "Ruthie, you never should have done it, because if they catch you, that would have been her death." She said, "No, nobody catched me," and we enjoyed it. Like you could invite me, I don't know, to Washington and the thing. Nothing in life can ever taste so good like that onion, I tell you.
What did she do?
She was outside work. All the young girls, she did once a very stupid thing, but that's how it is. They went outside, and there was a Greek in charge. He was a pharmacist in Greece. His wife was my neighbor in the barrack, a nice woman, but she suffered from what is very rare, but most people who get fat say, maybe my glands don't work so good, but it's just what you put in. But by her was the only person in my whole life I saw. She became fatter and fatter. Everybody became small. She had more to eat than we, because her husband was in charge. He always could give her, like in Westerbork could also. There's no doubt. But there was no reason, even with the giving was little. She became so fat, and she was a young woman. It was terrible. Now, he liked the young girls, and everybody was very willing to accommodate him in one way or another. And one day he wanted to flirt with my daughter, and she, in reaction, gave him
oh my, she slapped his face.
So everybody froze, they were afraid, they put him in things. But my good luck was that she was my neighbor, and he didn't know it, and he didn't dare to do nothing, because I ran right away to the upper man who was above him, and I told him, "Listen, the child doesn't know what, and after all, what is his business? His wife is my neighbor." I right away made it a point, because she was not supposed to know. And that was saved her life, because she could have been right away put in the in solitary, and they stayed in 3 days without eating, without nothing, with the rats running around and the mice. She wouldn't have survived, never. God sei Dank. So anyway, this all happened in then there were 2 girls in the concentration camp, I know. They had affairs with the capos. They figured the hell with it. The capo got them everything. Yes. They got to eat that too, and so on. And this one young man who worked as they also had come to Bergen-Belsen. I told you the young man was an adjutant from the Macher in things. He was engaged with this girl, and she helped him save his family. And he never objected, but after the war he broke the engagement.
Oh,
yeah. But he wouldn't have been alive, and so it's human nature. So anyway, what else? I was put in the Greek barrack, and my neighbor, as I told you, had become fatter and fatter, because her glands didn't work properly. But she took a liking to me, which was in my advantage, because it's always nice to have a good neighbor. So she tried, and in a place like this, like in the whole world, there are always things you can have a privilege. Now, as bad this place was, she told the wife of the camp commander that was a Jew, because the topman was a Nazi, of course, but as I told you, it was the same way like in Westerbork. They put off the dirty work and everything to a Jew. So the Jew was under him and had to do all the dirty work, so-called, but he had, of course, also some privileges.
Do you remember his name?
Albala, yeah. I was in the Albala lager. Now I remember the name of my lager. I didn't even think
Would you write that down?
Yeah, Albala. Mrs. Albala was a pretty woman, and he was also not an old man. They were also good looking. And he did know different languages. He did know perfect German, of course, which I have heard. He had lived in Vienna for some time. And he did not know, of course, no Greek, because he came with the Greek group, and French, of course. So I conversed always in French with my neighbor, you know. I don't know no Greek, she didn't know no German. How can you converse? So she had told the wife of the Lager Commandant that I was a designer and I didn't know how to sew. And this Mrs. Albala had an old coat, a winter coat that was fully lined, and she wanted it, she gave it to me. I should turn it around. It was already shabby, and I should rip it and turn it around and sew it new. Now, I didn't have no iron. I had no sewing machine. I never had done such a thing in my life anyway. And when you turn, you have to know a woman has buttons like this, and you turn, it comes on the wrong side, right? So I had to artistic weave the holes in order to get it, and it had to come out good. So she arranged it that I had not to work for as long I work on the coat,